how did Netflix start?
Well, after Borland, I ended up starting a small software company with two friends of mine. And we sold that not long afterwards to a much bigger software company called Pure Atria. And the reason that's significant in the Netflix story is that Pure Atria had been started and was being run by a gentleman named Reed Hastings. And we all went to work in this big new software company, and the rest of my team ended up in the basement in a business unit. But Reed grabbed me to make me his head of corporate marketing at Pure Atria. So I went from this cerebral startup job to boom, all of a sudden I'm running marketing for this multinational, huge software company. But the beauty was Reed and I lived in the same town, and I was reporting to him, and Reed and I began commuting to work together. And we became pretty good friends. And then about 6 months later, Pure Atria was acquired. And this time, I wasn't so lucky, at least in terms of the same way, but this time I was going to lose my job because they already had a head of marketing. And Reed was going to lose his job because they already had a CEO. So the two of us were going, okay, what's next? And for me, that was simple. I was going to start another company, of course. Reed wasn't so sure. He thought he wanted to go change the world of education. He was going to become a philanthropist, but he wanted to get a degree, a higher degree in education, so he had some credibility. So he was going to go back to school, but he wanted to keep a finger in this entrepreneurship game. So we came to an arrangement that he would be my angel. I would start and run the company, but we needed the idea. And that's what led us to both being in a car, commuting back and forth from our homes in Santa Cruz, California, up and over the Santa Cruz Mountains every day to our offices in Sunnyvale. And we would pitch ideas to each other, or more frequently, I would pitch ideas to Reed. And this was not like I was a video guy, who I could tell you all the great French directors or anything like that. I was normal. I watched Lion King trying to get a cranky kid to fall asleep. That was my movie experience. But I was a direct marketing guy. I was someone who saw the promise in the internet. I was a believer in personalization. So I was pitching ideas around that. And as you probably know from, That Will Never Work, from the book, I pitched him the idea of personalized shampoo, where you cut off a lock of your hair, you mail it in, our team of ace hair scientists formulate the custom blend, and you subscribe to it. And Reed, he was the analytical one. He would find the holes, he'd challenge me, he'd push me on the numbers, and the ideas would get rejected. And then I'd come in the next day full of fire, and I'd pitch him custom dog food, for your breed, for its climate, activity level, gender, whatever. And he'd shoot that down. I pitched probably 100 ideas. And one of the ideas I pitched him was video rental by mail. And at the time, this is in 1997, spring of 1997. Back then, when you watched a movie, as you probably remember, it came on a VHS cassette, those big, heavy, expensive. And so it didn't take a lot for me to realize not going to work, and that got rejected too. So the breakthrough, if there was one, came a few months later when Reed got in the car and said he'd heard about this new technology called the DVD, thin and light. And it wasn't like if we had read about DVD, we would have said, aha, video rental by mail. It was more like, when you're cleaning up your house and you find under the couch a little piece from a jigsaw puzzle, and you go, oh, that's the missing piece from that puzzle I was trying to solve 2 months ago. And that's how it was for us, that DVD could be the missing piece to making that video rental by mail idea work. And then this is what separates my opinion of an entrepreneur from anyone else, is rather than saying, cool idea, let's think this through, or let's go and work on a business plan, or let's put our pitch deck together, or any other crap. I'm thinking, just turned the car around right in the middle of the commute, went back down to Santa Cruz to see if we could validate this idea. And we went to look for a DVD, and it was in test market, so there weren't any. So we settled for buying a used music CD. Went a few doors down and bought a little gift envelope, like you put a greeting card in, addressed it to Reed's house in Santa Cruz, bought a stamp and popped it in the slot, and then went to work. And then the very next morning, when Reed came to pick me up to go to work, he just had a little envelope with an unbroken CD that had gotten to his house in less than 24 hours for the price of a stamp. Yeah. And if there's as they say in screenwriting, an inciting event, that was probably it.
Hey Founder Fam, we hope that you loved that clip. If you did, you can click through right here to watch the full interview. You don't want to miss this one. See you there.